today to show y'all some CPR skills. So we're gonna go over chest compressions and rescue breaths. Just a disclaimer, this is not a CPR certification, but if you'd like to get certified, you can visit our website and check out the dates once the COVID-19 is over with. So I have Carrie here who's gonna be my demonstrator, and I'm gonna talk him through everything. So to do CPR compressions on an adult, what you wanna do is you wanna locate the middle of the chest first. Once you've located the middle of the chest, you're gonna take your dominant hand and you're gonna place the palm heel of that hand in the middle of the chest. You're gonna leave these fingers extended outwards. Next, you're gonna take your other hand and you're gonna place it on top and you're gonna interlock those fingers on top of your extended out hand. What you wanna do next is you wanna make sure your elbows are locked good into place. You're gonna use your entire upper body weight to give compressions. Now for an adult, you wanna make sure that you compress at least 2 inches down into the chest. Main thing with doing CPR is you wanna make sure the chest fully recoils before you go down for your next compression. You're supposed to get between 100 and 120 compressions per minute. All right, so for an adult with 1 rescuer, or even if you have 2 rescuers, you're gonna wanna always do 30 compressions to 2 breaths. If you have a child, this is anybody over the age of 1 up until the age that they hit puberty. So for a child, your compressions are going to be 30 to 2 as long as you have only 1 rescuer. If you have 2 rescuers though, your ratio is going to drop down to 15 compressions to 2 breaths. That's only if you have 2 rescuers for a child. Now lastly is CPR on an infant. So for an infant, it's always going to be 15 to 2 compression to breath ratio. This is never going to change depending on even if you have 1 or 2 rescuers. For an infant, what you're going to want to do is there's 2 different ways that you can give CPR to an infant. The first way is you're going to take 2 fingers and you're going to place them in the middle of the infant's chest. For an infant, you want to make sure you compress at least 1/3 of the depth of the chest of the child. Okay, so you're going to give, again, your 15 compressions to 2 breaths. Now the second way that you can give compressions to an infant, which is my preferred method, is you can wrap your hands around the sides of the infant and use your thumbs in the middle of the chest to give your compressions. Again, it's the same 15 compressions to 2 breath ratio. When giving a rescue breath to a victim, you gotta make sure that their airway is open. Now, if you look at our dummy here, his airway is not currently open. So if you do not suspect a spinal injury, you're going to use a head tilt chin lift maneuver. So you're going to place one hand on the back of the forehead and then you're going to place your other hand underneath the chin and you're going to tip the chin up as you lift the forehead back. To give breaths properly and sanitary, you want to make sure that you have a simple face mask to use, which Carrie has here in his hand. First, you want to make sure that your simple face mask is extended all the way out properly. Perfect. Next, you want to make sure your one-way valve is in place. Your one-way valve is very important because this protects you from any bodily fluids that might try and come up out of your victim in the process of you giving them CPR or rescue breaths. So, to place the mask on the victim for an adult, you want to make sure that the pointy part is up towards the top of the nose. Most masks nowadays actually have an arrow pointing upwards that says nose. So you're going to place the mask on your victim, but you can't just give a breath just like that. So you have to get good suction around the mask first, and you still also have to open up the airway of the victim at the same time. So to do this, you're going to want to create 2 C's with your fingers, using your thumb and your pointer fingers on both hands. So first, you're going to want to place your fingers on each side of the mask, and you want to push down to get a good suction on them. Next, you're going to use the back side of your left hand and then the back side of your right hand, and you're going to lift up on that chin as you push back on the forehead to open the airway. The entire time, though, you want to make sure you have good suction on your mask because you don't want any air leaking out. And then you're going to deliver 2 breaths. It's just like taking a regular breath for yourself. You're going to bend down, breathe in for about 3 to 4 seconds, come back up, take another breath yourself, and go back down and you deliver another breath for about another 3 to 4 seconds. Main thing with this is you want to see the chest rise, but not their stomach. If their stomach rises, then that's cause for them to throw up. To give rescue breaths to an infant, they also make simple face masks for infant size, which Carrie has in his hand. Now, if you do not have an infant simple face mask, then you can use an adult face mask on them as well. But instead of the nose part pointing up, you want to make sure you turn the mask upside down and have the nose portion at the baby's chin. Again, you're going to place the mask on the baby with your one-way valve in place as well. And you're still going to apply good pressure to get suction around the mask as you open their airway by doing the head tilt chin lift that we just showed you. Only thing different with an infant is you want to make sure that you only deliver a very small puff of air because their lungs are so tiny. You don't want to overinflate their lungs. Now I know it looks a little bit scary with the adult mask fully covering the baby's face, but it will be okay. Just make sure you still get the good suction around the mask so no air escapes that you're trying to deliver to them, and you make sure you open up their airway properly.